Hey everyone, are you ready for this? We're diving deep into the Oscar nominations for 2025.
It's been a crazy road getting to this point, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
What with the LA wildfires pushing everything back?
And can you even imagine being Conan O'Brien?
Hosting the ceremony after losing his home in the fires.
Yeah, talk about a real Hollywood story.
But the wait is over.
The nominations are finally here.
So let's break them down.
Well, first off, Emilia Pérez is dominating.
With how many nominations?
13.
13 nominations. That's got to be some kind of record. What is it about this film?
It's a Spanish language musical drama
Okay.
with a twist.
Yeah.
The main character is a transgender woman who becomes this powerful drug lord
Whoa.
in Mexico.
Okay, so we're talking identity, power,
Maybe even redemption.
all in one film.
Exactly.
No wonder the Academy's going crazy for it. But 13 nominations also tells me.
It's tapping into something bigger.
Right.
There are some key trends we're seeing in the industry, and it feels like the Academy is becoming more open,
Oh.
diverse stories,
Okay, yeah.
and international cinema.
That's fantastic. And having a transgender actress
Carla Sofia Gascon,
in the lead role,
huge for representation,
it feels like Hollywood is finally reflecting the real world.
with all its complexity.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But what about the other films in the running? We can't just talk about Emilia Pérez.
We have Wicked and The Brutalist, tied for second,
Wow.
10 nominations each.
Wicked the musical. I can already hear Cynthia Erivo belting out Defying Gravity, but to get 10 nominations,
They had to pull out all the stops.
right, they really translated it to the big screen.
They didn't just focus on spectacle. They dove into the deeper themes from the stage production. Friendship, prejudice, good versus evil.
Gotcha.
Adds a whole other layer.
And Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba.
Pure magic.
Okay, so we've got spectacle and substance. Now, The Brutalist. That title doesn't exactly scream feel-good movie.
Oh, it's definitely not a lighthearted film.
Yeah.
The Brutalist is more of a slow burn, a character-driven piece with a very specific visual style. Imagine stark lines, raw concrete,
Ooh, I like that.
and this feeling of unease throughout. Tackles ambition,
Yeah.
betrayal, the price of success, all that.
Sounds heavy. And who are the actors bringing this vision to life?
You've got Adrian Brody
Okay.
and Felicity Jones.
Brody and E. Jones. Oh, I'm definitely intrigued now. The Brutalist just jumped to the top of my watch list. But we've talked about the big names.
Right.
What else stands out to you?
A Complete Unknown has a good number of nominations.
I saw that, including one for Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor.
Yes.
So he's up against Adrian Brody. Now that's going to be an epic showdown. Okay, what's A Complete Unknown about?
It's a biopic, but the director, James Mangold,
Okay.
he's known for making historical figures into compelling movies.
Oh, yeah. He did Ford v. Ferrari.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He can deliver on the drama.
A Complete Unknown is officially on my radar now. It's pretty cool to see Timothée Chalamet up against some of these Hollywood legends.
Yeah.
Feels like a new generation is coming up.
I think you're right. Shows how the industry is changing.
Absolutely.
New talents emerging.
Exactly. And speaking of new voices,
Yeah.
we can't forget about Anuja, nominated for Best Live Action Short Film.
Yes.
Such a win for Indian cinema. And the team behind it is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Priyanka Chopra
Mindy Monga.
and Mindy Kaling. Talk about a dream team.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And this nomination shows us a bigger trend.
Which is
More and more diverse voices in Hollywood.
on screen and behind the scenes.
Exactly.
This is already shaping up to be an incredible Oscar season.
It is.
Groundbreaking films, those epic acting battles we were talking about,
Right.
that international flavor, and just a huge push for diversity and representation.
I think you summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
The Academy is definitely opening up to stories.
That don't fit the mold.
Exactly.
And this is where it gets really exciting.
Tell me.
We're not just talking about awards here. We're looking at a snapshot of cinema right now.
I like that.
Where do you think this is all heading?
That is the million-dollar question.
What's the future of film?
What do you think?
I guess we'll just have to keep exploring these nominations to find out.
I'm in.
But before we go there are some hidden gems in those less talked about categories.
Oh, for sure.
How about we move on to Best Animated Feature Film next?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So Best Animated Feature this year.
Yeah.
It's a real clash of the titans. You've got Inside Out 2, that heartwarming sequel
Right.
going up against Wallace and Gromit. Vengeance Most Foul.
Yeah.
That quirky British charm.
Pixar versus Aardman. Two very different styles, but both so good.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, though, I have a soft spot for Wallace and Gromit and those stop-motion shenanigans.
Oh, they really are national treasures. And Vengeance Most Foul. It's got all those classic elements.
Yeah.
The crazy inventions.
Yeah.
The slapstick humor, and of course that British charm.
Of course, but Pixar...
They don't go down without a fight.
Right. Inside Out, too, has a lot to live up to.
It does.
That first Inside Out, oh man, I was a mess in the theater.
I know, right?
Who knew a movie about emotions could be so powerful? What's the sequel gonna explore?
Well, the good news is the whole team's back.
Okay.
So I have high hopes.
I do too.
That same humor and heart.
Fingers crossed.
But hold on. There's another contender here.
Is there?
Flow.
Wait, Flow? The Japanese animated film?
The one and only.
It's nominated in 2 categories? That's amazing.
It is.
Okay, remind me, what's Flow about?
It's this visually stunning film. They blend traditional Japanese art with modern storytelling.
Nice.
The story is about a human and a mystical water spirit,
Okay.
exploring nature, connection, the flow of time.
Ooh, this sounds beautiful.
It really pulls you in.
Flow is definitely going on the watch list. It's so cool to see such a range of animation styles getting recognized.
Right. It just shows you
Shows you what?
the power of animation to connect with everyone.
Absolutely, no matter who you are or where you're from.
And it's not just for kids anymore.
Right. These films tackle complex themes.
Experiment with different visual styles.
Absolutely. Pushing the boundaries of storytelling.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Speaking of pushing boundaries,
Yeah.
I think we need to loop back to Emilia Pérez. It's the frontrunner,
With
right?
teen nominations.
It's definitely sparking a lot of conversations.
For sure. So what makes this film so bold?
Well, it's a musical, sure.
Right.
But it's also a gangster film.
Okay, interesting.
A love story, A&D, a commentary on gender identity.
They're covering it all.
Not afraid to tackle the tough stuff and break some rules along the way.
Makes sense. And like we said before, casting Carla Sofia Gascon, a transgender actress,
In the lead.
it's a huge step for representation.
It is. And her performance is being praised like crazy.
Oh, I bet.
She brings so much nuance and depth to the role.
You can tell they're passionate about this film.
You can feel it.
Both the filmmakers and the audience.
Why do you think it's resonating with people so much?
I think it's a lot of things. The music, the story,
The performances?
definitely top-notch.
But I think there's something more.
Oh.
People want stories that challenge the way things are, stories that celebrate diversity,
I agree.
and stories that give us a new perspective on the world.
And Emilia Pérez does all of that.
It does.
It's both entertaining and makes you think. I'm really curious to see how it does on Oscar night.
I am too. It could make history.
Right. But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Yeah.
we've got to remember all these nominees are incredible.
They are.
They deserve all the recognition for what they bring to cinema.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, I'm ready to dig into some of those less talked about categories.
Me too.
Where are the hidden gems?
Well, one category that often gets overlooked is Best Adapted Screenplay.
Adapted screenplay. You mean the films based on books and plays?
Exactly. And it takes serious skill to take a story from one medium to another
Totally.
and do it well.
Like, to make it work as a film.
Right. One nominee that stands out to me is A Complete Unknown. The writer did an amazing job capturing the essence of the subject's life, creating a compelling narrative arc.
So it's not just a boring biography.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And then there's Conclave, adapted from a play,
Okay. Yeah.
which is really hard to do. You know, dialogue-heavy stories.
Yeah, I can see that being tough.
But this writer managed to make it visual,
Oh, interesting.
engaging.
I just realized something.
What's that?
Emilia Pérez is nominated here, too. Didn't realize musicals could be considered adaptations.
Oh, absolutely. If the musical is based on something else,
Like a play or a novel.
exactly,
Yeah.
then it's eligible. You know, it really shows how the Oscars are changing.
To keep up with the times.
Yeah, the changing landscape of storytelling.
That's fascinating. I'm learning so much today. But Emilia Pérez and racking up nominations left and right.
It really is. Shows how well made it is. It's not just about those catchy tunes.
Exactly. What other nominees are we looking at here?
The Seed of the Sacred Fig.
Yeah.
It's this coming-of-age story from Italy. The writer really captured Italian life and culture beautifully.
Oh, a cinematic trip to Italy.
I'm in. Okay, what else?
The Girl with the Needle. This suspenseful thriller from South Korea.
Ooh, a thriller.
The screenwriter did an amazing job with the twists and turns.
Keeping us on the edge of our seats. The Oscars really do have something for everyone, huh?
They really do.
Yeah.
It's incredible to see all these different stories from around the world being recognized. Speaking of,
Yeah.
We can't forget about Best International Feature Film.
Oh, yes. Always one of my favorite categories. It's a window into other cultures.
Exactly.
What else?
All through film.
And this year's nominees are amazing.
Tell me more.
We've got I'm Still Here, a powerful Brazilian drama,
No.
grief and memory.
Those universal themes are so powerful no matter what language they're in.
And then there's The Girl with the Needle. Remember, it's also up for Best Adapted Screenplay.
A double nominee.
Exactly. Shows you how good it is.
And The Seed of the Sacred Fig is here too.
Right.
Also nominated for screenplay. It's amazing how one film can do so well across different categories.
It is. And it's a beautiful story about a young boy on this journey of self-discovery.
Yeah, you mentioned it was visually stunning too.
Oh, absolutely. And then there's Flow, also nominated for Best Animated Feature.
That's amazing.
It's pretty rare to see an animated film in both categories
It really speaks to how powerful animation can be.
to move us.
Exactly. And to connect with us emotionally.
Absolutely.
Okay, what other international films are we looking at?
Wouldn't you know it? Emilia Pérez is back, representing Spain this time.
No surprise there. Emilia Pérez is everywhere this year.
I told you, it's the film everyone's talking about. It seems like the world just can't get enough.
And it makes sense. It's the story that crosses borders.
Exactly.
It's about finding your voice, fighting for who you are.
That resonates with everyone.
Okay, any more international gems we should mention before we move on?
Yes, we have Memoir of a Snail,
Memoir of a Snail.
a French animated film, super charming,
About a snail.
about a snail who dreams of adventure.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's the perfect film if you've ever felt stuck,
Oh, I relate to that.
longing for something more.
And it's animated so perfect for the whole family.
Exactly.
This category is just bursting with variety and talent.
I know.
Best International Feature Film, it truly showcases storytelling from all corners of the globe.
It reminds us that there are so many stories out there waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. Beyond what we usually see.
Right. And thanks to the Oscars, it's easier than ever to find them.
For sure. Okay, it's time for the big one.
You know it.
The Best Picture nominees.
The category everyone waits for.
Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Okay, Best Picture time.
This is it. The big one.
Where the drama really unfolds.
Yeah. Some serious contenders this year.
And a diverse field, right?
It is.
From small, intimate films to those big blockbusters.
Totally.
First up, Emilia Pérez.
Of course. I feel like we don't even need to introduce it at this point.
Like speaks for itself.
13 nominations says it all. But, seeing it here in the Best Picture category,
Yeah.
it really shows you the Academy is embracing these groundbreaking stories.
It's a game changer. And then we have Wicked.
It's going to be visually amazing.
Oh, yeah. Adapting a musical for the big screen.
Not an easy task.
But it sounds like they really nailed it.
They did. I'm sure those musical numbers are going to be spectacular.
Can't wait to see it. And what about The Brutalist?
The Brutalist.
With that stark look and those thought-provoking themes.
Oh, it's definitely the underdog here.
You think so?
It's a challenging film,
But
but it sticks with you. It makes you think.
I like that.
I'm curious to see if it wins over voters.
There's always room for surprises in this category.
Always.
But there are other films nominated too, right? What else are you excited about?
A complete unknown, for sure.
Yeah.
James Mangold is so good at biopics.
He knows how to make them captivating.
And Timothy Chalamet.
He's going to be brilliant in this.
I think so, too.
And Dune Part 2.
Oh, my goodness.
It's
Talk about
that-
visual spectacle.
The first Dune was visually stunning, and they're taking it to the next level.
They are. Can't wait to see that one.
It's interesting how many of these films are based on other things.
What do you mean?
Books, plays, musicals even.
It's true. Hollywood seems to be drawing more and more from existing material.
But I don't think that's a bad thing, right?
No, not at all. It depends on how it's done.
Right.
How the filmmakers bring these stories to life on the screen.
Exactly. A good adaptation can introduce a story to a whole new audience.
Yeah.
Even spark new conversations about it.
And sometimes an adaptation can be even better than the original.
Yeah. It's all about finding the right story at the right time.
With the right people.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We've covered so much today.
Oh, yeah.
From the frontrunners to the underdogs.
All the categories.
Animation, international cinema.
You name it.
This year's Oscars are truly a celebration of film.
I agree. It feels like a real shift is happening.
Tell me more.
More inclusivity, more diverse voices, stories that connect with people around the world.
It's a new era of cinema.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One that reflects the world we live in.
and challenges the old ways of doing things.
It's an exciting time to be a film fan. I think these nominations...
It's just the beginning.
Exactly.
My watch list just got a whole lot longer. But before we go,
Yeah.
a final thought for our listeners.
I like it.
Don't let all the awards talk make you forget what really matters.
What's that?
The magic of movies. The Oscars are fun, but they're also about celebrating the power film has
To transport us.
to challenge us.
To connect us.
Absolutely. So as you check out these films, remember to savor those moments of pure cinema.
Those moments that stay with you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try something new.
You never know what you'll find.
That's what it's all about. Exploration and discovery.
And sharing those stories with others.
So until next time, happy viewing.